Last year, HONOR announced its first ever laptop in the Malaysian market. That was the HONOR MagicBook. That laptop was incredible. It has a slew of specs that is relatively powerful for its unbelievably low price of just 2,299 ringgit. And the reason why we are talking about that laptop today is because this is the new HONOR MagicBook X15 that is also starting at the price of 2,299 ringgit. So what's new with the HONOR MagicBook X15, and do I actually recommend it? Well, let's talk about it in this video here today. When we first unboxed the HONOR MagicBook X15, we were greeted with a minimalist looking laptop, I would say. It's gunmetal grey in color and it looks beautiful just like its predecessor, the HONOR MagicBook from a year ago. It is also thin and lightweight, which is definitely appreciated. Now, opening up the lid though reveals a 15.6-inch IPS LCD screen running at 1080p in resolution, and it's pretty standard for a laptop screen, I would say. The screen itself looks fine, and I did want to take out our colorimeter to test its color accuracy, but I decided not to because this laptop isn't gonna be powerful enough to run production work. And I did notice that the screen is a little bit washed out and the yellows are a bit too intense, but it's very minor, and I have trained eyes that looked at many other monitors, so I can spot that right away. However, there are a few minor changes that I need to highlight. The screen bezels here are thinner on all sides, but the webcam is now on the keyboard instead. And I personally just don't like this webcam placement of all. It's the worst place for a webcam, and I have no idea why HONOR decided to use this webcam placement. The only thing that you can see properly with this webcam though is my huge nostrils. The hinge has also changed and it cannot go down to 180 degrees flat anymore, which was possible with the original HONOR MagicBook, again from a year ago. As for the keyboard, I think HONOR did change the keyboard's keycaps from a rather smooth surface to a rather roughier texture. I would say it's not gonna bother me that much, but the typing experience on this keyboard is decent, I would say, even though the travel distance is quite short. The trackpad is also decent, and I generally have no complaints about the trackpad at all. It tracks well enough, and the gestures also work as expected since it's using the Windows Precision touchpad drivers. And yeah, the palm rejection is also considered decent compared to many other laptops in the market right now. Now, one big difference though compared to the original MagicBook is the speaker placement. They are now bottom firing instead of top firing, which was located at the side of the keyboard. Well, I would say it sounds decent on the table, but it does not sound good if I'm gonna use this laptop on my lap while I'm sitting on a couch or a sofa or my bed, those kind of situations. What's identical as last year's MagicBook though is actually the ports. For this laptop, on the left we have a USB Type-C port for charging, a USB 3 Type-A, and then another HDMI port. As for the right side, we have a 3.5mm headphone jack, and then yet another USB 3 Type-A port. And once again, I'm complaining that there should be two USB Type-Cs, one for the left side, one for the right side, so I can plug in the charger on either side. That'll make cable management much easier. And also, I still think that the selection of ports is adequate enough for day-to-day use, so yeah, it's quite good. Okay, so the specs. Before we talk about the specs, I gotta highlight again that we worded this video in a very specific way. We said that the new HONOR MagicBook X15 is starting at the price of 2,299 ringgit. At the earlier part of this video, we highlighted the word starting at because this laptop comes in two different variants. For the price of 2,299 ringgit, you'll be getting the version with an Intel Core i3 10110U with 8 gigs of RAM and 256 gigs of SSD, whereas this version that we have here comes with an Intel Core i5 10210U with 8 gigs of RAM with 512 gigs of NVMe SSD, and its price though is at 2,899 ringgit. And we also won't talk much about its performance because, let's face it, either you're using the Core i3 version or the Core i5 version of this laptop, it won't make that much of a difference if you're just gonna go on Facebook, attend some video calls, watch some Netflix, do some office work, check some emails, all of those stuff. The Intel Core i5 only shines when you are doing some, let's just say, huge Excel sheet calculations, and you're gonna need a lot more processing power compared to the Core i3. With all of that said, both variants of this laptop are still very low in price, though I don't think that the huge price gap between the two variants is justified. And I think this laptop, because it's using the 10th gen Intel Core processors instead of the 11th gen processors, it really won't make much of a difference at all because you can't run games on the 10th gen Comet Lake processors. And as a quick mention, the HONOR MagicBook X15 here comes with a 42 Wh battery which lasts for about 4 to 5 hours in our usual usage with heavy Chrome browsing, some Spotify and some YouTube mixed in. It's decent, but the battery has shrunken down because last year's HONOR MagicBook had a 53.6 Wh battery, and we know this because we opened up the laptop to check last time. Okay, so throughout our review of this HONOR MagicBook X15, I think it's safe to say that HONOR cut a lot of costs in making this laptop happen. I'm okay with most of the cost cutting, but hey, the laptop has a large area that is unused, and that slot fits in a 2.5-inch hard disk perfectly. But for some reason, it's not utilized. There's no mounting hardware or any pins available on the motherboard to utilize this extra space, and HONOR could have just used a bigger battery to fill in the gap, but they didn't. But with all of those said though, we are back to the original question at the top of this video. Do I recommend this laptop? I'll still say yes. While it's not that good of a deal compared to last year's HONOR MagicBook, I would still say that it's one of the best budget laptops that you can buy right now. Let's just face it, we do need laptops to work from home, study from home, all of those stuff. So this HONOR MagicBook X15 is perfect for those use cases. And that's it. That's all we have to share with you about the HONOR MagicBook X15. If you have any questions, leave them down in the comment section below. And we'll see you guys in the next video.